Good evening, my fellow patriots. We're gonna another got another take of the MAGA Daily Digest. I am your host, Lionel Washington, and I'm gonna bring you through everything MAGA from MAGA Nation, Trump highlights from the weekend, as well as what we have in store for the upcoming week. So let's get into it. So yes, over the weekend there was a story that 80,000 migrant children were discovered. 80,000 missing migrant children were discovered. And it really didn't get a lot of play. But we have 80,000 children who were discovered after 4 years of Joe Biden. Trump is in the office for 1 week, and we find 80,000 missing kids. 80,000 of 340,000 missing kids were discovered. Now, these are astronomical numbers. Think about it. 80,000 kids were found by President Trump. And there's 340,000 total. So that means there's 280,000 kids that are still missing. And if you look around the web, you might find three or four websites. Your News, News Pravda, Trump administration finds 80,000 of 340,000 missing migrant kids. Like, what has Joe Biden been doing? What have they been doing? That almost 500,000 kids are gone missing. Trump is in office for 1 week, and he discovers 80,000 missing kids. And it's just like the scale is mind-boggling. Not 80 kids, not 800 kids, 80,000 kids were discovered that were missing. And, as a father, if my kids are gone for more than 5 minutes, I'm, sweating bullets looking for them where they're at. I'm tracking them down. Look, and the fact that we can have in this country in the 21st century 340,000 missing kids. Where is the outrage? Where is the outrage for this? Barely any news coverage. Zero mainstream. CNN didn't cover it. Fox News isn't covering it. I got InfoWars here that covers it. Town and Country magazine, like Peak Prosperity. There's no Reuters, no Associated Press. I'm frustrated, y'all, because this should be the number one story on every news channel, but it's not. I mean, it just seems like these missing kids weren't a priority for the last 4 years, and that's how it was allowed to happen, right under our noses. 80,000 kids went missing, and the Trump administration is in office for 1 week, and we discovered them. There's no hashtag about these missing migrant kids. I think that is one of the most remarkable accomplishments of the first week of the Trump administration. That either the Trump administration is that phenomenal that it only took 1 week, they found 80,000 kids, or it just highlights the vast incompetence of the Biden administration. The fact that you can have 340,000 kids go missing, and you don't play a political cost with it. Like, we didn't even hear about this during the campaign. And I can only imagine, if I'm President Trump, I would have been hitting like, yo, Biden, you got 340,000 missing kids. Where are these missing kids? Nothing. But you have a Democrat Party who doesn't believe in protecting kids. They really don't. I mean, the Lake and Riley Act passed through Congress, passed through the Senate. President Trump's going to sign the law. But 154 Democrats voted against that bill. Now, what does that tell you about the Democratic Party if 154 Democrats voted against the Laken Riley Act. And I just think that highlights the moral, uh, the moral degradation of the Democratic Party. They've lost their moral compass, and it couldn't be more clear than the fact that you allow millions of people to cross our border illegally, and of those millions of people, there's 340,000 missing migrant kids. Nobody talks about it. And I don't know. Maybe I'm overblowing this. Maybe there's something I'm missing. But kudos to President Trump that he was able to find 80,000 of these 340,000 missing kids. But that means that there are still 280,000 missing kids. And I hope that we're able to make that a priority. With the immigration, deportation, the mass deportation that we're working on, we got to find these missing kids. And this is exactly how traffickers take advantage of children, because there's not even a blip of media coverage on it. It seems like everybody is staying silent about these missing migrant kids. We got to find them. That's got to be priority number one, is getting these migrant kids, getting them back to their families in the countries that they came from. That's got to be a part of this deportation, this mass deportation missing. We got to find these missing kids. For 4 years, Joe Biden did nothing. President Trump gets in office for 1 week, and he discovers 80,000 missing kids. And yet, it's Selena Gomez crying about Trende Aragua being deported. She wasn't crying about Laken Riley. She wasn't crying about the numerous Americans that were raped and killed by illegal aliens. No tears for them. No tears for the, 340,000 missing kids. It's like Hollywood is so corrupt, and it just, I know people want to play politics, and they're going to have Trump derangement syndrome, and they're not going to support President Trump no matter what. But the fact that he discovered 80,000 kids after 1 week in office is truly remarkable, and that alone should mark his legacy as a true American hero. The fact that he discovered 80,000 missing kids. 80,000, not 80, not 800, not 8,000, 80,000 kids. And we still got 280,000 kids missing. So I would like to see Hollywood cry about that. I'd like to see Selena Gomez cry about that. Where is the tears for these missing children? And, and it's crazy that the government of Colombia would be willing to deny repatriation of their own citizens. I mean, how many of those are kids that could be coming back into Colombia? It's like, what is wrong with this world that we're allowing, kids to cross the border illegally and go missing? And it's like, that's why this has to be a priority. That's why Tom Homan is doing his job. That's why we open up the aperture to go after illegal aliens in schools, in churches, in hospitals. Because we've got 340,000 missing kids. So yeah, we catch some bad hombre who's, a pedophile and a murderer. But meanwhile, he's got 10 kids that he's hiding away. That's how we're going to save these kids. We've got to go after these illegal migrants. We've got to deport these people. That's the only way we're going to find these kids. We've got to go after illegal aliens wherever they are. And we've got to register the bounty system. The government in Mississippi has passed a $1,000 bounty for registered bounty hunters who capture illegal aliens. You're getting a full stack for registered bounty hunters for every illegal alien that they capture, successfully deport. And we need to have that in all 50 states. So I hope anyone that's in the Republican legislature that's watching, from Florida, we need to get this done. We need to get this done It needs to be a priority. We need to get these bounty hunters registered so that we can go after these bad guys, these illegal aliens, and let's find these kids. And I think that it's incredible that President Trump, within 1 hour of negotiation, can say, it's my way or the highway. I'm going to slap a tariff on you, Mr. President of Colombia. If you don't accept these deportations, then we're going to slap a tariff on you and your economy is going to crush. We're going to crush your economy with these tariffs. And so I think as long as we have President Trump in the White House, we should be able to sleep well, knowing that he's going after terrorists. He's going after illegal aliens. He declared the drug cartels in Mexico a terrorist organization. And I hope they use the full extent of the U.S. military to go after the terrorist cartels in Mexico. Full extent. If we got to drop bombs, we got to drop bombs. If that's what we got to do, that's what we got to do. So, I just thought that was interesting that over the weekend, that got very little play in the media. That we had President Trump discover 80,000 kids missing. I know a lot of the oxygen in the room was absorbed from the little tiff with Colombia, but that's how our president is going to get business done. That's how he gets things done. And if these tariffs are going to be a weapon that we can use to enforce our foreign policy, so be it. I'm willing to pay more for bananas and coffee and flowers in order to have a safer America. So Anna Navarro and the girls on The View, they're sad that they're not going to have their flowers on Valentine's Day. That was their concern. They're not worried about protecting kids. They're not worried about Lake and Riley, who was raped and murdered. They want their coffee. They want their coffee from Colombia. They want their flowers. That's what they're concerned about. And so it really does seem to me that there is a moral superiority within the Republican Party, especially the fact that we're protecting kids in the womb, especially the fact that we're protecting kids from trafficking. That's what this president is about, saving America. And it truly is a divine mission. It's not lost on me that the hand of God saved President Trump from assassination twice. Twice he was impeached. Multiple indictments on fake charges. And he was able to beat the charges like Rocky, yo. Trump was able to walk out. And yes, he got one conviction as a felony. But that is so... It was such a politically motivated conviction that I don't think the American people really acknowledge that. And I think that it's something that was a badge of honor, frankly, for President Trump. And I think it brought him more popularity. That was the whole reason the lawfare strategy backfired. And I just want, people to try to take a moment, as a former Democrat myself, try to acknowledge the good things that President Trump is doing. If you can't celebrate the fact that he discovered 80,000 missing kids, what are you going to celebrate? Can you celebrate anything that this president accomplishes? And that's why you got to get on this Trump train, y'all. You got to get on this Trump train. And you gotta be able to get behind your president. You gotta be able to support the positive policy initiatives that he's enacting. Look, he's gonna cut taxes for us. If we don't pass the Trump tax cuts, we're gonna have a tax increase. So I think that's something that every American should be able to get behind. Let's find these missing kids. Let's deport these bad hombres, the guys that are Tren de Aragua, MS-13, the criminal actors, the felons, the rapists, the pedophiles. Let's get them out of here. And let's cut taxes. Let's build our military. These are common sense policy initiatives that I think every American should be able to get behind. And so With that being said, I think President Trump had a phenomenal first week. I think he's accomplished more in 1 week than most presidents accomplish in 100 days. And the fact that we had 2,500 illegal migrants deported, 80,000 migrant kids that were discovered missing. We laid the smackdown on Colombia. That's more than a lot of presidents will get done in a full term. I mean, if you look at Joe Biden, I can't name one thing. I can't name one thing that Joe Biden did well for this country. And the fact that President Trump already has these remarkable achievements after 1 week speaks to the success that we're about to experience as a nation. And I really do think that we need to look at this as success as a nation, and not just as a political party or as MAGA. This is going to be a new golden era, a new golden age for all Americans. And so let's get excited about it, y'all. Let's get behind our president. Let's get behind our Republicans in the state legislature and in Congress. Let's get the state of California to turn red. After the disaster that they went through, let's get our people in Cali to vote red. We should be able to get behind our president. We should be able to get behind our Congress and truly work together to make America great again, y'all. I think we can do it. Now, and I'm encouraged by it. I really do feel proud to be an American. I go to bed with a clear conscience, knowing that President Trump is in the White House doing good for all Americans. And so with that being said, I'm going to shut it down. I hope y'all tune in the rest of this week. I'm going to be interviewing a January 6th Patriot, Paul Hodgkins, who was recently released from the Gulag in D.C. He's one of our local Tampa Patriots. So be sure to tune in this week as I do my first ever interview of a January 6th Patriot, Paul Hodgkins. And as always, if you ain't on the Trump train, you better get off the tracks. Good night, everybody.